What's going on, folks? This is your host, G Beast, and Happy New Year! Welcome to the first episode of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Here we go. 2024 has arrived. 2024 is in the rearview mirror. What's going on, man? What's your resolution? Do you have a resolution? Do you give a rat's ass? I don't. Maybe drink more beer than usual. Wrong. But you know what, man? It's going to be a great year of pro wrestling. And man, I am excited. I'm excited for the year of 2024. Whatever it's going to throw at us. Hopefully it's not crappy, right? Hope not either. But knock on wood. Knock on wood, baby. And here we go, folks. It's the new year. So I'm pretty excited. And I can't wait to see what 2024 is not only in store for you, the fine listeners, or our YouTube, the viewers on YouTube, but even for myself. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. So I got my cup of coffee. Here we go. Day one. This is day one. I'm not talking about the Usos gimmick. Day one-ish. No. It's day one of 2024. And what a way to kick it off by doing my first episode. And there was a lot going on the past couple of days. And what I'm talking about, there's been a lot in pro wrestling in a short bit of time before 2023 closed up. And we will talk about it. So, but on this episode for day one, first episode of 2024, well, it's very simple. We will review very quickly some of the matches on AEW's World End, but we will talk about in the most controversial parts of the show. It was an interesting show. Okay, I can't say it was bad. I cannot say it was good, but it was interesting. I have audio clips from the media scrum as well. We will talk about what went down prior to the pay-per-view. There's always dark clouds glooming over an AEW pay-per-view, and there's always BS, there's always drama, and we will talk about that. We will save that for the very end. Also on the show, I have my previews and predictions for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom going down to this coming Thursday, or Wednesday night into Thursday morning here in the United States. So January 4th is New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom. We will talk about the matches. There's some I'm excited for as a pro wrestling fan, so we will talk about that as well. And then to kick off the show, we will talk about Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn has officially left the WWE. He resigns from the WWE after 40 plus years? Holy smokes, we will talk about that, man. Talk about another bombshell news over there in WWE. So we will talk about that and so much more. But before I continue on, follow me on my social media platforms to the Square Circle Podcast on Facebook, X, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. Start the New Year's right. Hit the subscribe on your favorite podcast channel on YouTube. And as I mentioned, it's a podcast, right? Available on all major podcasting outlets like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, all you have to do is type into the Squared Circle Podcast. And wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, man, it's gonna be a good year, man. And again, if you need a new podcast, if you discover me on YouTube, and dude, just look it on all your favorite podcasting lands, man. And if you like to travel, you need to listen to something at work. Maybe you're cleaning the house, whatever you may be doing. Let me be your voice of your insanity, your soundtrack of pro wrestling. All right. So got that covered. Hope you guys had a great new year, right? You hope you guys had a happily safe new year, wherever you may be celebrating, right? Maybe you went to, whatever you are, parts across the world. In Chicago, we got downtown Chicago celebrations, you got New York celebrations, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, everybody's celebrating all across the world. So I hope you had a great New Year. And for me, I had a great time for my New Year's Eve, spending time with my family, of course. A little bit of drinking, right? A little bit of drinking, but do it at home responsibly. So, happy New Year's to you and cheers. I got my cup of coffee. All right, good stuff. So let's get this bad boy on a roll. So let's talk about Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn, who's been part of the executive productions behind the scenes of WWE. He's been in with the company since what? Before WrestleMania 1? He's been loyal to the WWE, been loyal to Vince McMahon. And this came to a shocker, man, when I heard that Kevin Dunn resigning from the WWE. And it was all reports. It was all reports over this past New Year's 2023 weekend. And as of today, January 1st of 2024, Nick Khan has officially released a statement announcing to the public that, yeah, it is true. Kevin Dunn is leaving. And I'll read a couple things coming from the article coming from Nick Khan, of course. After 40, okay, and I quote, after 40 plus years of helping and building a WWE and hands down the best productions and media unit in entire sports and entertainment business, Kevin Dunn will be leaving our company as of today. So Kevin Dunn is no longer with the WWE on the production side, or just in general, right? In general, my understanding is there were reports. Again, you take everything on the internet grain of salt, right? You don't believe everything. Uh, there were reports that he had a little distance between the current administration and himself. And he was always been a loyal Vince McMahon guy since day one. And ever since Vince not being there, I guess you're seeing a lot of changes, right? You're seeing a lot of changes behind the scenes in WWE, a lot of administrative movement, a lot of people going up and down the ladder. So a lot of people going out the door. So for Kevin Dunn, who's been loyal to the WWE, it's a big change for him, and I think he's ready to leave. Now, where is he going to go next? So we don't know. Will Tony Khan write up a big fat check? I don't think he will work for the opposite company, but again, nothing surprised me, right? Nothing surprised me. But I mean, that's a big loss, right? Big loss for WWE. A guy who's been loyal to the company for 40 plus years. Not a lot of people could do that, man. Not It's a very small crew, a very small percentage of people been working for the same company for 40 plus years. That's a milestone. Hell, I wish I could work for a company for 40 plus years that I can love, which is it's hard to say. It's hard to do. And I mean, now he's leaving. He's leaving. So man, God bless him, and we wish Kevin Dunn all the best. We wish Kevin Dunn all the best here. And we wish him a happy, steady new year, right? Happy, steady new year. So yeah, man, happy new year to Kevin Dunn, and we'll see where he goes, man. Staying positive here, folks. All right, so we got that out of the way. Another top news went down this past weekend, New Year's Eve weekend. I guess we can end the show with Wrestle Kingdom. I guess we could do that. So let's talk about WWE, AEW's Worlds End. Let's talk about Worlds End. They went down this past Saturday, the day before the New Year's, right? The New Year's Eve. Uh, AEW Presents Worlds End was live in Long Island, New York. And boy, it was an interesting pay-per-view, right? It was an interesting pay-per-view. And well, let's talk about it really quick. I won't spend too much time. We got the pre-show, right? Willow Nightingale defeated Chris Statlander in the singles match. Kill Switch won the 20-man battle royal for the future TNT championship match. And that will play in effect, folks. We will talk about that. Because on my previews and predictions for AEW Worlds End, I didn't know who was part of the battle royal. I didn't know. So it made it hard for me to make a pick and who will win. And once we found out that Kill Switch won the battle royal, yeah, man, it kind of changed the Edge, or I'm sorry, Adam Copeland versus Christian match for the TNT champion. So when Kill Switch won, they changed everything to what I thought was going to happen later on the night. We will get to it shortly. All right, Hook defended the FTW champion and defeated Wheeler Yuta in the FTW rules. And that match was pretty much a street hardcore fight match. That's all it was. Stop signs, trash cans, kendo sticks. That's all it was. There's nothing special. Man, it was a solid match. Okay, I'll say that it was a solid match if you're a fan of hardcore wrestling. But yes, Hook defeated Wheeler Yuta by submission. And I believe he got a broken hockey stick and put it around Wheeler Yuta's neck and made him tap out. So there we go. All right, here we go. 8-man tag match. The Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia defeated Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Rush. And it was a decent match, you know. It was nothing too extraordinary. It was a 17 minutes and 50-second match. It was pretty decent. Mark Briscoe, I'm always a big fan of his. Claudio is always impressive to watch. Danielson, yeah, just Danielson. And Daniel Garcia, I think he's the one that picked up the win. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one that got the pin and landed the Blackpool Combat Club team to win. So great match. All right. This match I enjoyed a lot. This is one of my favorite matches on the pay-per-view. Miro versus Andrade El Idolo. And these guys had a hell of a match. These guys proved the point. I didn't like the storyline. Like Miro's trying to win back his wife. And his wife is managing Andrade El Idolo. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that. But they both of these guys put on a hell of a clinic match, man. And these guys did good. I enjoyed it. And Miro defeated Andrade, where I believe Andrade had some kind of submissive hold on Miro. And Andrade's manager or Miro's wife got, interfered in the match. He pulled Andrade's leg, and the ref didn't see it, which gave Miro the advantage to put his finishing move on Andrade and pinned him. And Miro walked away with his wife. And that was pretty much a send-off. A send-off for Andrade El Idolo, which that was his final match on AEW history. He's done. That was his last match. And seemed like tonight, at the time I'm recording this podcast, January 1st of 2024, sound like, again, Andrade did not renew his AEW contract. And Tony Khan has announced that at the media scrum after the pay-per-view that Andrade didn't renew his contract. And obviously Tony Khan gave him this big send-off. And Tony Khan allowed Andrade to go down to Mexico for CMLL for a match. because we don't know if WWE will allow that or not in the future. So it's nice for Tony Khan to send him down there, arrange him a match to go down to, Arena Mexico, right? A legendary venue down in Mexico for Lucha Libre. So it was nice to see Tony Khan give him a nice send off, and sound like he might show up on Raw tonight. Talk about a 2024 bang, baby. Andrade shows up on Raw. That'd be wild. Hey, I'll be watching tonight. I'll be watching. See, we got that going on tonight. But either way, Miro defeated Andrade, and sound like Andrade's not re-signing with AEW. Potentially, wink, wink, could show up on Raw tonight on the USA Network. But either way, this was a great match. All right, up next, Tony Storm versus Riho for the AEW World Women's Championship match. It was 11-minute and 40-second match. Again, I'm a big fan of Tony Storm. I talked about this in my previous predictions about Rio. I'm not going to go over it, but Tony Storm won. Fair and simple. That's it. All right. Swerve Strickland versus Dustin Rhodes. Now, remember, Swerve Strickland was supposed to face Keith Lee. And they decided to pull Keith Lee from the match because apparently he had an injury he's been dealing with since 2022. This is the second time this happened where they book a match and someone had a health issue and they advertise it like Kenny Omega. They gave Kenny Omega a match with Chris Jericho to face Big Bill and Ricky Starks. And apparently Omega has been having his illness, but they still advertise it. And then they pull the match last minute. Same thing with Keith Lee. If you know you have medical issues, why would you advertise them? God, I don't understand that. What's so difficult about that? If you know your employer, your employee has history of medical issues, why would you book them? Send them home. Take care of them. Let them get treated. Let them get rest. Why would you advertise and book it and then change it on the last minute on the fly? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, they had Dustin Rhodes fill in. I guess he had his gear on him, and he was there as a superhero to save in to replace Keith Lee. And either way, it was a solid match. Dustin Rhodes had a underdog story, just like his young brother, Cody Rhodes, throughout the match, a little story. But Swerve Strickland defeated Dustin Rhodes. All right. This next match, 8-man tag match. The Sex Gods, Chris Jericho. We will talk about Chris Jericho. We will talk about it. Yes, there were news that happened over the weekend, rumors, and it's not the best rumors. And we can't really confirm it's true or not, but I guess we could talk about it, right? Because Tony Khan, well, someone mentioned in the media scrum about this rumor, and Tony Khan responded. We will talk about that. But Chris Jericho teamed up with Sammy Guevara, Sting, and Darby Allin defeated Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Konosuke Takeshita, at Powerhouse Hobbs. And as I mentioned, they won, Chris Jericho and his crew. And Sting had a nice ovation because that was his final match in the state of New York. So had a nice little moment, nice little 5 or 10 minutes on the air of fans just clapping, giving his flowers, right? Giving Sting's his flowers before he retired. That's right around the corner in March. So can't wait for that. But Chris Jericho, he got his ass booed on the pay-per-view. It was a mixed bag. I watched it, and when Jericho came out, the fans were singing his entrance, right, like they do in every show. But there was a lot of people booing, and I will tell you why. I will tell you why, and I will dial in. I'll dial in the response from Tony Khan. And so what happened over the weekend, New Year's Eve weekend? I guess there was a tweet, all right, an X or Twitter tweet that they got released out to the public. And this rumor was, I guess, related to Kylie Ray. Now, we haven't seen Kylie Ray in AEW television since 2019. It's been a couple years now. 2019. And I remember this. I remember this when she was on television with AEW and she disappeared. I remember she disappeared and she asked for her release from AEW. It was just random, right? I'm like, she was enjoyable to watch in television. She was popular by the fans. And just like this, she was gone. She decided she wanted to leave AEW. And there was no answers. And she was quiet. And I believe it was like a mental health issue. And look, I understand mental health is a real deal. It's nothing to joke about, right? That's a legit. And if you know somebody who has mental health issues, uh, check on them. Check on them as always, and give them the help, man. Give them support. It's a legit deal. Mental health is real across the world. And just because I know somebody who has mental health issues. So it is a very tough topic to talk about. But I guess that was, I assume there, I can't really assume it because I don't know. But all we know as fans of AEW, that Kylie Ray left AEW in 2019 without explanations. Years later, there's reports that that Tony Khan, not Tony Khan, I'm sorry, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, uh I guess there was like a sexual abusement or sexual alleged incident happened backstage between him and Kylie Ray. And I don't know all the details. Again, it's just only rumors. It's the internet. And I guess Jericho got involved in this incident. And I guess this incident led the departure of Kylie Ray in AEW. And that's why she's very quiet. And we know the history, right? For like the movie industry, TV industry, of sexual assaults, right? You know, a guy who has all the money, all the power, who could do wherever the f he wants, and force women to do things. And that's a big no no to me. That's a low of low scumbags. And you know, I can't say Jericho did it because we don't know if it's true or not. We don't know. We don't know if Kylie Ray is open to be public about this. If she's scared, I don't know. We don't know. She hasn't said anything. I guess it was just like a leaked Twitter screenshot that got released. That's it, by a rumor. So we don't know if this is true or not. And if this is true, I lost all my respect for Chris Jericho. If this rumor is true, but again, if it's not, then it's not. But again, it's the internet, right? People can start anything on the internet, you can get away with it. So we don't know what's the truth or not. So that we're just gonna leave it there. We don't know what's the truth is. We don't know what's going on, but the rumor was ramping up prior to the pay-per-view. Again, that's where I talked about where a dark cloud loomed over a pay-per-view. So AEW tries their best to put on a great show, and there's always something, right? There's always something. And as I mentioned, Jericho came out, right? Jericho came out and at the pay-per-view, and fans were booing. Fans were booing. We know the history of Tony Khan and AEW. signing NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, where they sign it. They cannot say nothing, right? They gotta be quiet. And like the CM Punk brawl out incident, he signed an NDA and now he can't say it for the rest of his life. So we don't know what happened backstage between CM Punk, Ace Steel, and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. It's only one person that knows about that, and it's Ace Steel's wife. And she will tell that story when she's ready. She's the only person hasn't signed an NDA. But we know the stories about Tony Khan, people signing NDAs, and they cannot say nothing. That's the bullshit part. That's no fun. Probably for legalities reasons, a smart way, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But again, hey, maybe Chris Jericho signed an NDA to keep it quiet about this incident. We don't know. But what we know on the pay-per-view this past Saturday is that Jericho came out. He had a mixed bag. A lot of people were booing at him. A lot of people were flicking him off. When Jericho came out on stage, ready, he tried. He tried to put on a smile. He tried to put on a smile, and you can see him biting his lips because he know what's going on. It's the internet world out there in AEW land. Fans are not stupid. They know what's going on. And Jericho knew what was up. He knew what was up, and he tried to bite his tongue and lips, and that tells you right there. And every time Jericho gets tagged in the match, people boo the shit out of him. People flicking him off. And there was someone in the crowd. This is funny. I saw someone in the crowd directly from the hard camera. And the AEW's pay-per-view Worlds End, someone had a sign that says Worlds NDA. Beautiful. People are not stupid. People know what's going on. But at the media scrum, you got to get that one guy in the press gonna have to ask that question, the elephant in the room. So I'm gonna play the clip, and Tony Khan has a response to this rumor. And let's see if I can get this audio dialed in here. So as I'm gonna get this dialed in here, we're gonna get that up and going. We're gonna get the audio up. So we get the credit to Wrestling News CO. So they get the credit on YouTube for this video. Let's hear what Tony Khan has to say.
Anything like that in regards to Chris's behavior. And like I said, these are all basically internet. And again, there are people in this who have an agenda per se. But again, these questions do need to be asked. And obviously, like I said, as respectfully as I want to be in the situation, is just to kind of just bring it up and just ask as best as we can. Because again, there also was another situation, former talent of AEW did post something that has been perceived as.
So it's a long question. It's a very long question, but this guy's, this press journalist is telling Tony Khan, what you got to say about this rumor about Chris Jericho and are the women safe backstage? So let's see if Tony Khan will get to the actual statement here.
As a confirmation of these allegations. So
I can't speak to that. I would just say what I had mentioned to Kevin earlier, that we have a disciplinary policy or a disciplinary committee that things are referred to, and that everybody in AEW, anybody who's ever wrestled in AEW, has an open line to talk to me or this group, and always has. And that's how we've always acted, and that's why I believe AEW has the safest environment, and AEW is the safest place in pro wrestling. And it's why AEW has definitely the best safety record in wrestling, and I believe we maintain it. Thank you.
So there we go. Tony Khan has he addressed the crowd about that, and he can't really address a unsourced rumor. And according to him, he said the AEW locker room is the safest locker room. I don't know if I agree with that statement or not, but there we go. A lot of people were, they weren't very too fond on this statement from Tony Khan, and Yeah, that's not good, man. That don't make the company look good at all. I just my personal opinion. Again, I'm a AEW fan. You can see right behind me on YouTube. I have a bunch of stuff from AEW, but man, that just makes the company looks bad. But I don't know. Let's move on here on AEW's World's End, and let's talk about the women's match for the AEW TBS champion. Julia Hart defeated Abaddon for the championship. 11-minute and 35-second match. So solid match. This was a good match with a screwy finish. And a lot of people were a little up in arms on this. Adam Copeland defeated Christian Cage, right? Adam Copeland did defeat Christian Cage, right? And I think I said that from my. No, I was wrong. I said Christian Cage, but we will. There's a little swerve here because Adam Copeland won. He defeated Christian Cage by pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Now let's go back to the 20-man battle royal where I said Luchasaurus won the battle royal, so he has a future contract for the TNT champion. Adam Copeland defeated Christian Cage and won the TNT champion. So that put a light bulb in my head early in the night. I'm like, okay, this will change things a little bit. Well, sure enough, Luchasaurus came out and he wiped out Adam Copeland. Luchasaurus had the TNT contract in his hand, told the ref, cash it in. I want the title. No, Christian Cage hops in the ring and he's like, kill switch. You're not going to cash in that damn title, the contract. Give it to me, damn it. Do what I say. And Kill Switch gave the contract to Christian Cage. Christian Cage signed the contract, gave it to the ref, and gave the finishing move to Adam Copeland, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and Christian Cage won back the title. Oh my God. A lot of people are saying that's a WCW 2000 booking. A lot of people are saying that's a TNA booking. A lot of people are saying it's a very bad booking. And wow. I don't know what to say about that. It was a great match with a shitty finish. And I got no words to say about that ending. It was a great match. Okay. I'll say it was a great match. Both guys beat the living hell out of each other. I enjoyed where Adam Copeland went into the crowd, climbing the concourse and jumped off. I enjoyed that part. But obviously, Nick Wayne and the mom got involved as I talked about my predictions. But what did I tell you? Christian Cage will find a way to weasel his way out and win the title. And that's what he did. They gave the title to Adam and they switched it on Christian Cage within 5 minutes. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the finish, but it was a great match to a flat ending. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. All right, this match I did enjoy. Okay, I did enjoy. Eddie Kingston defeated Jon Moxley to become the new inaugural AEW Continental Champion. It was a great match. Both guys had a great psychology match, 17 minutes and 20 seconds match, if you give a rat's ass on time. Eddie Kingston had, great, facial reactions. Jon Moxley, same thing. Both guys went to war. A lot of chops, a lot of strikes in the head and in the face. These guys had a hell of a match. And mad respect to Eddie Kingston. Won the damn tournament. And congrats to him. So well deserved. It's been a long time since he won a major champion or major tournament. And here he is. He won it. So congrats to Eddie Kingston winning the AEW Continental Championship. All right, the main event, folks. Samoa Joe versus MJF, the main event. So we all know Samoa Joe worked with the devil. Who's with the devil? Who is under the devil's mask? Well, Samoa Joe came out. He's ready to go. Out comes MJF, hometown boy of Long Island, the most magical place on the planet Earth. And out comes MJF and got a big crowd reaction. Sure enough, out comes Adam Cole, his bro Chacho, his buddy, to be along his side. And here we go. The match kicks off, and a great match, man. I thought this was an excellent main event match. So I'm a big fan of MJF as always. So Samoa Joe, just guys, excellent heel, man. Samoa Joe's a veteran. I love his work in the ring. I love his facial reaction, his attitude as a heel. I enjoyed it. It was a great match. But 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 I said it in my predictions. I said it. Samoa Joe defeated MJF. How about that? It happened. It happened. MJF's AEW reign as a champion. All done. No moss. He is done. It's broken. And Samoa Joe is now the face of AEW. And wow, what a win. What a win and what a moment of 2023. So after Samoa Joe defeated MJF, Adam Cole gets in the ring. Adam Cole gets in the ring, and for support for his brochacho MJF. And as both guys got up, they hugged each other, and then the lights came out. You know what the lights came out. Out comes the devil mask Goonies, right? All the guys in the ski mask and the black sweatshirts, and they're surrounding the ring, right? They're surrounding the ring. They're surrounding MJF and Adam Cole. And eventually Adam Cole had a chair in his hand. He's like, all right, let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Well, I guess all the masked men jumped on the ring and attacked MJF, but they didn't attack Adam Cole. They grabbed him by his arms, and another masked guy had a chair, and he was ready to hit MJF over the head with the chair. And Adam Cole's like, don't do it. Do not hit my Prochacho in the head with the chair. Don't do it. And then the lights go out. And I'm like, okay, are we going to get the devil guy now? And the lights came back on. And I remember that the one of the masked guys had a chair in his hand. Now, when the lights came back on, Adam Cole was sitting on that chair. All the fans were like, oh, he's the devil guy. He's the man behind the mask. Not surprising to me, but for some people, they're like, oh my God, Adam Cole is the devil. And he's turning his back on MJF, and he super kicked him, and all of them jumped on him. And the remaining members of the devil group unmasked herself, and it was Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Roderick Strong, Wardlow. Wardlow was part of the faction, and I had a feeling. We saw all the pieces coming together. We know Wardlow was related to something like that, and here we go. There you go. The new faction: Adam Cole, Wardlow, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Roderick Strong. All 5 men are a new faction. What their name's gonna be, we don't know, but there we go. A lot of people were not happy about it. A lot of people knew it was predictable. Yeah. So there we go. It was an interesting ending. It was an interesting pay-per-view. It was the interesting pay-per-view for AEW Worlds End. So I my poll is done. Not my strippers poll, but wow. So it's official on my official X account, Into the Square Circle podcast. I left a question right after the pay-per-view. Well, how about the ending? Did you enjoy the pay-per-view AEW's World's End? 15% of you guys said yes. 15% said yes, you did enjoy it. 21% of you guys said no. This is a landslide vote. 55. 55% of you guys said, heh. It was right in the middle of the pay-per-view. 9% of you guys said you just don't give a rat's ass about the pay-per-view. So thank you very much for participating as always on the show. And you guys made your voices heard on the show. So Man, it was the interesting pay-per-view. It had a lot of growing pains. I can't say it was the greatest, but yeah, man, there we go. There's the pay-per-view, AEW Worlds End. So before I move on, let's talk about what Samoa Joe said about his AEW World Championship. He won the title. And he had an interesting comment on about the future opponents since he's the new champion. And someone asked him, well, what's next? Do you have future opponents you want to face? Well, he had a response to it. Let's take a listen here as I dialed in here on his audio. This is coming from the same person on YouTube. Wrestling News CO, they get the credit on the audio. So as I'm about to dial in here, folks, and let's hear what Samoa Joe as a potential future opponent.
Given
I'll whip Hangman Adam Page's ass any day of the damn week. Swerve can get it, sure. Hey, who's your favorite? Go ahead, shout out their name. I'll whip their ass. Like this, y'all think that this is gonna be like, oh, I want this guy, I want that guy. I'll take them all. A lot of loud mouths, a lot of dudes talking a lot of stuff. Hey, y'all can do that stuff on Twitter. Come bring that shit to my face, man. See what happens. That's the funny part. Everybody's starting fights around here, but nobody ever start fighting with me. Come fight me.
question for Joe. Hi, Matt Cascone from the Queen's Gazette. Congrats on what.
So there we go. Samoa Joe said he will whoop anybody's ass. A lot of people complaining. A lot of people, starting fights backstage. But if you got a problem with me, just come at me, bro. Come at me and I will whoop your ass. So Samoa Joe, no chill whatsoever. And he's very open-minded and whooping their asses, anybody who comes in his way. So, Samoa Joe is now the face of the AEW World Champion. And there we go, man. I'm excited for Samoa Joe as a champion. Now, fans who want to know is, what's going on with MJF? Is he done? Is he leaving WWE or AEW to go to WWE? A lot of things are going around stating that he signed a new contract. But it sounds like he's going to recoup, man. He's going to stay off of TV for quite a while. I mean, guy abuses his body. He needs some rest. And like Samoa Joe said in the press conference, and I didn't play it, but when I watched it after the show, he said somebody brought it up about Samoa Joe in his WWE era, where he was doing commentary, he was doing backstage stuff, and fans were wondering if WWE misused them. And Samoa Joe was like, nah, I chose that because I need to rest my body, let it regroup, let my body heal off multiple injuries. That's the reason why he did all that. So WWE never misused him. He chose to do, light duty stuff because just try to be smart, right? At the age he's at, being smart and take care of his body. And I think that's a great tip to give to MJF because I think that's what he's doing now, staying off of TV, being regrouped, and let his body rejuvenate and recover, right? He needs to recover. Well deserved. And who knows? We may see MJF a Revolution in March. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, MJF no longer at AEW World Champion. Wow, what a shocker. So I guess it was a plan after a long time. And there we go, folks. So let's go take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have my previews and prediction. Get it out, Junior. My previews and predictions for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom after this quick commercial break. Welcome back, folks. And here we go, man. We're going to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom. I got my fresh cup of coffee. We're ready to rock and roll, baby. New Japan Pro Wrestling presents Wrestle Kingdom. Going down to this January 4th, is coming Thursday at Tokyo Jam, Japan. Not Tokyo Jam, Tokyo, Japan, and Tokyo Dome. The legendary Tokyo Dome And the shows of the shows, the first big show of the 2024 and New Japan's Super Bowl version of WrestleMania. And let's talk about it, man. So they got one pre-show. Every year they do a New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Rumble style. And then who will determine for a provisional Kings of Pro Wrestling 2024 champion at New Year's Dash. So which they'll be the day after Wrestle Kingdom. It's kind of like the Raw after WrestleMania. New Year's Dash is like their Raw version of after Wrestle Kingdom. So we got that. All right. So by the way, I don't know who's in the Battle Royal, so I can't really say who will win. All right. Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney, the current champions, the junior heavyweight champion of the IWGP, will face Catch 2 and 2, which is TJP and Francisco Akira. So I know very little of Clark Connors, and he's pretty decent. I haven't seen Drilla Maloney. I haven't seen him before. TJP and Francisco Akira. Great tag team, by the way. Those guys are great if you're a fan of the junior division. I got to say, you know what? For the hell of it, for fun, I love to see TJB and Akira defeat the Bullet Club War Dogs. Why not? What a way to kick off the new year by become the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Did you agree? No? All right, let's move on. Zack Sabre Jr. will put his New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion on the line against Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Time Bomb. And you probably will have a hell of a match out of this. Zack Sabre Jr. is one of my favorites. Excellent technical wrestler in the world, along with Bryan Danielson and others. Hiroshi Tanahashi, one of the favorites in the junior division. And he's a hell of a wrestler too as well, man. I enjoy his moves. Fast, quick pace. Zack Sabre Jr., a little slow pace, but a lot of technical stuff. He loved to twist your arms in places your arms haven't been to. I got to say, Zack Sabre Jr., man. Let him retain the World Television Champion. Why not? He's been a champion for a while. Keep a title around his waist, damn it. That's going to be my pick. All right, up next, Yoda Tejishu versus Yuya Unamura. For nothing, just a singles match. And I don't know. I don't know what to pick here, but I'm going to pick Yuya Unamura for the win, just for the hell of it. All right, Shota Umino and Kaito Katsimiya versus the House of Torture. Evil and Ren Narita and a tag team match. Just a classic tag team match. And Shota Umino, he's a young kid, right? We've seen him a couple times in AEW. He's a pretty decent kid to watch. Kaito Kayami, I don't know who he is. I don't know too much about him. But the Horse of Torture, Ren Narita, I know who he is. And Evil, who's been a numerous World Tag League former champion, former tag team champions of the IWGP. So between him and his former partner, Sonata, who's on a whole different level, right? Sonata's on a whole different level compared to Evil. Evil's like mid-card. Sonata's in the top of the game. So we will get to that shortly. But if I had to pick of it, and who has veterans and all the moves, I have to pick House of Torture to win. It's going to be my pick. Up next, it's going to be a hell of a match. It's going to be a slob and knocker for the never openweight championship. Shingo Takagi will put his champion on the line against Tama Tonga. Yeah, my boy Tama Tonga. Hell yeah, baby. It's going to be a hell of a match. I'm a big fan of Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga has a lot of energy. He has a lot of moves. That guy's just over the damn place. I'm a big fan of his. Shingo Takagi, again, another veteran. Guys, excellent to watch. Another fast pace. It's a good matchup. It's a good matchup for one-on-one. But man, who's going to win? Will Shingo walk away and retain the title? Or could Tama Tonga make a big upset and win? So I'm going to go for my boy Tama Tonga to win the never openweight champion. My pick. Again, previews and predictions. If you're watching on YouTube, drop it in the comment section. If you're listening on the podcast, Let me know what you guys think. And send me a DM on X, Facebook, Instagram. You know the deal, man. Come on. All right. The winner takes all tag team match for the IWGP Tag Team Champion and the strong openweight tag team champion. So this is a high risk. Everything everything's on the damn table for this. So you better. This is it, man. This is for all the grand prize. So Bushiman, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi versus the God, Gorilla of Destiny, which is Hekaleo and El Phantasmo. And yeah, that's it, man. Just two teams clashing for the big grand prize. Wow. Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi versus Hekaleo and El Phantasmo. So, hey, El Phantasmo, if you love Will Ospreay, you'll love El Phantasmo. If you love Hekaleo, Hekaleo's a bigger guy. Tall, stiff, badass. Yoshihashi, he's a quick, fast pace, I guess junior division level wrestler. And Hiroki Goto, who's a veteran, he's a hard hitter. So you have a mix of clash of styles in this match, and who's gonna win? Who's gonna win the grand prize? Take home the IWGP and Struggle per weight. So this is a grand prize winner. Who's gonna win? What team's gonna win? If I had to pick one, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. I've seen them live before. They were phenomenal as a tag team. They have great chemistry in the tag league division. So why not give them the titles? Start up the new year, giving these guys the grand prize. So that's gonna be my pick. Up next, Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu Takahashi will face El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So it's gonna be a solid match. And I'm sorry, let's go back. So I made a mistake here. Hiroshi Tanahashi, shame on me. He's the president, the new president of New Japan. But because Zack Sabre Jr. defeat him, and then now it kind of changed the outlook. Again, Hiroshi Tanahashi is the president. Will he push himself as a champion? I don't know about that. So I got that one a little wrong here. But the actual time bomb, Hiromu Tanahashi, that's the actual time bomb. Will face El Desperado, who's a quick pace luchador style wrestler. It's a good matchup for the junior division, and give Hiromu the Takahashi a retain. Why not? Right? Keep him retained. El Desperado has a great mashup, and it's gonna be a great match for the junior division and for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So it's gonna be my pick, Hiromu Takahashi. All right, 3 matches left. We're almost there, folks. We know this is a long episode, but we're gonna get you there to the very end. Will Ospreay will face Jon Moxley versus David Finlay, a 3-way match for the inaugural IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. Global, whole damn world are representing here for the heavyweight champion. Okay, so we know Ospreay is going to be did sign for AEW, right? He's going to fulfill his commitments with New Japan and other wrestling companies before he come to AEW. Jon Moxley is a potential, but I don't see him winning. But David Finlay, a fine young wrestler, the son of the great Fit Finlay. You know what? Man, he could be an excellent contender. He could be, it could be Ospreay. He could be an excellent contender. But then he has to defend it in AEW. And then he has to defend it in New Japan some point in the near future. So David Finlay would be a good pick. And why not? David Finlay. It's going to be a great match. Will Ospreay, we know he's the aerial assassin, high flyer, fast paced, great wrestler. Jon Moxley, You know his style, right? Bleeding, blood, guts, bones, ripping, badass. And David Finlay, he has a hard-hitting style just like his father. So you have a clash of styles. Who's going to win? Again, as I mentioned, David Finlay. It's going to be my pick. Which I think David Finlay's part of the Bullet Club. I think so. Here we go. This is going to be a match. This is going to be the match of the lifetime. Kushka Okada versus Bryan Danielson. So Bryan Danielson's going to Japan for once. What he's been asking for a long time. He's going to the Tokyo Dome. Match of the year potential. Man, it's gonna be a hell of a match. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win, Okada or Danielson at the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom? Wow. Probably gonna be one of the longest matches in the card. Both of these guys gonna beat the living hell at each other. Oh man, I've had to pick it. Come on, give it to Danielson. He's retiring. If this is his once and only time, once in a lifetime Tokyo Dome main event, co-main event, give it to Danielson. Why not? Man, that'll be a hell of a match. All right, Sonata, the main event of the whole damn show. So remember I talk about Sonata, former tag league winner, former tag team champion with Evil. And that's amazing how Evil's still in the bottom, right? Mid card, but Sonata, his former partner, is now the main eventer. He is the IWGP World Champion. He is the face of New Japan. He's main eventing New Japan against Tetsuya Naito, another great freaking wrestler, man. Tetsuya Naito, a former champion, a veteran. Guy is smart. Guy has been to Mexico, been all around the whole world, TNA. Been to AEW. Tetsuya Naito is one of my favorites. And man, oh, Los Incredibles de Japón leader, Tetsuya Naito. Will he become the new IWGP champion at Wrestle Kingdom? Or could Sonata, one of the youngest New Japan champion, could he retain and walk out? This is the tricky question. A tricky final exam college admission question. Who's going to win? Ooh, doggy. Give the Naito. Naito, come on. Give the title. And you got Tanahashi running New Japan. You got Naito, who's the champion. Let the veterans show the young kids how to do it. It's going to be my pick. Tetsuya Naito to win the IWGP champion. So here we go, folks. There we go. And man, oh man, there we go. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wrestle Kingdom going down January 4th. You can check it out on New Japan World. That's where you can subscribe. I have it. You can pay $9.99 a month. You can watch it live overnight here in the United States. Like in Chicago, it'll be like 1 in the morning. I'm not watching at 1 in the morning, but I can watch replays. You can watch replays. You can watch all the older events, the old school events. You got all the content on there. New Japan World. That's where you can find it. That's where you can subscribe. All right. Happy New Year. It's been a long ass episode for the first one. A lot. My jaw hurts. I'm almost running out of coffee. And Happy New Year, man. It's going to be a good year for pro wrestling. What a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. I'm excited to see what 2024 has in store for us wrestling fans. All right. Happy New Year. And I'll talk to you guys in a couple days. So until next time, happy wrestling and Happy New Year. And cheers to you. Bye-bye, everybody.